Hello, hello. Welcome to Beyond the Payline. Hope everybody's doing good today. My name is Dan, and I'll be your host for the next few minutes. So, we have some topics to discuss. So, we're going to start out by explaining what is volatility. A lot of people, this is just, they have no idea. It's a mystery. And volatility is going to have its place in this discussion. So, let's start out with what is it, okay? It's a measure of how a machine will play in the sense of its difficulty level. They don't really have a scale, although you'll see those skewed, the little ones that got the yellow, the green way down here, and the dark red over here. And then they usually have a little arrow that tells you the volatility scale of it, but there's no actual numerical number that I've ever seen or known of. If there is one, drop it in the comments. I'd love to find out where and what. I haven't run across it. It basically, it rates the difficulty of the game. Okay. And how do you describe a low volatility versus a high volatility machine? These factors are built into the games. And while the header of the game looks the same, it's not. Believe it or not, the machines you play make a huge impact of how you as a player get returned to player. That really makes a huge difference. Now, there are some games like the old school 3-reels are considered low volatility. Why? Because they have less ways in which you can win. So the less ways there are that you can win, the more the game relies on line hits, paying you on those line hits, because that's the only way that they can pay you back. So your line hits on a low volatility, like a 3-reel machine, like the old double diamonds, triple stars, things like that, all your pay is in the line hits, right on that single pay line. That's where all the money's at. Now, when you start getting into medium volatility machines, you think of like games like the 3-reels that have they'll have an extra feature to it. Every time there's an extra feature, it increases the volatility of the machine. Okay, so if there's one extra feature like the 3-reels and a bonus, it's higher volatility than just a regular 3-reel. Now you go to the video games. If you go to the video games, and these don't exist much, but you only see 3 pots, mini, minor, max. That's it, 3 pots, and you got your video game. That's just it. It's a high volatility machine, but it's on the low side because there's not many ways in which they could split up the pot. You see, there's only 100% of money, and the more times you add to it, this has to pay this. This will pay this much. This will pay this much. This will pay this much. So then it leaves little on the bottom, and that little bottom is what they use for the pay line. And the more things they put on the screen for you to win, the more ways in which you can win. Like mummy. There's like 5, 6 ways. You got the shaky. You got all these different ways. That's how that is considered a very high volatility machine, because you get very, very little to nothing. When you spend, you get very little to nothing in the way of a line hit. So that would be considered a very high volatility. So looking at these machines, you're like, well, how am I supposed to know, Dan? It's difficult unless you study. Well, guess what? I've done some of the studying for you. Okay, I've been working at this for a while. I've been watching these games, playing these games. And unfortunately, they made it pretty easy to find out this information these days. So we're going to start with Dragon Link. Okay? And Dragon Link, they're not all the same. Okay? If you want they're all going to be high volatility, but then there's levels of volatility. Okay? Dragon Link has 4 levels of it, believe it or not. Okay? So if you got a lower bankroll, you want to start out with Panda Magic and Happy and Prosperous. Of those games, those have the best odds for you to win in a single spin. Okay, doesn't mean overall in the machine, but on a single spin, you got a better chance in those games to hit a line hit or hitting a bonus. Okay, that's all we're talking about here. Getting a line hit or getting a bonus. Doesn't mean you're necessarily going to win, but you got a better chance of it. Okay. So if you got, you're going to a casino with $100, $200, Panda and Happy and Prosperous are the way to go. Next up would be Silk Road and Peacock Princess. Those games are kind of like a middle to low. in volatility. And, you can get great results again with the lower budget, lower to mid budget. As we move up a little bit, the games you find in every one of them, and I like both of them. I like all these games, but Golden Century and Autumn Moon, okay? These games are the ones that everybody loves to hate because you love them, you play them, and when they hit you good. Or they can hit you good in your pocketbook. So you got to be a little careful with these games because they can really, slap you with a bunch of fives. You see a whole bunch of five balls that they throw in there, or you'll see you'll get all the two little flags, always constantly getting the two flags or the five ball. They'll play with you. But when you get a bonus, typically they are pretty good. Although Autumn has left me a 10-set bonus before. I don't want to open up that wound again. So, but of the Dragon Link series, the highest in volatility, and if you've ever played them, you'll understand what I'm talking about, is Genghis Khan and Peace and Long Life. The guy with the jaundiced eyes. Those two games, I do like playing them, but man, they are hard to win at. Very difficult to win at. So make sure going into these games that, if you're only going to go in with a 20, you're wishing upon a star. Okay. That you're going to actually hit something, because those can be far and few in between. All right. And, that is not something you want to roll with if you've got a small budget. Stay away from Peace and Long. Now, can you win? Yeah, of course. Everything. You can win at everything on one spin. There's outlier events, but the probabilities is what we're talking about. The probability of you getting a line hit to extend your play, or the probability of you getting a bonus. That's what I'm talking about. So the next series in this lineup is Lightning Link. Everybody loves the Lightning Link. Again, another series by Aristocrat. And I'll do the same thing with those machines. I'm going to give you the two lowest, the two middle, and the two highest, okay? And what has been mathematically proven to be the low, mid, and high, kind of, so to speak, okay? Best bet and high stakes, okay? Those two, again, low budget, $20, $50, $100 game, those are the ones you go into. You want to play a $20 game, you get into those two. Okay, those two are going to give you pretty good returns, going to give you more frequent line hits. Your bonuses are going to be smaller. Keep in mind, if it's giving you without a line hit, your bonuses are going to be smaller. You could still hit those outlier big ones. Okay, and I'll tell you about those a little bit later. Magic Pearl, Happy Lantern is the next step up. Okay, they're kind of sitting along the lines of like the Golden Century and the Autumn Moons, where they'll pay, but they can be really temperamental, so to speak. So you keep an eye on those things, And then you have Sahara Gold and Bengal Treasure. I've had a little bit of luck with Bengal Treasure and Sahara Gold. I've had luck on I've had luck on all these machines, and I've taken it on all these machines. So, you really got to have fun with it, and you can play with them around with it. Take these things away. Play Panda Magic, kind of a mental game. Play Panda against Happy, or I say, I'm going to play Panda against High Strikes, or put Silk Road over Best Bet. See what works, just as an added little bonus game inside of a game, Light and Wonder. Everybody loves the Light and Wonder games, but they have some original games that are really, really good to play, that are a kind of a lower in volatility thing. You got your Blazing Sevens. Your Blazing Seven games are fantastic. They are great RTP, return to player. Zeus, Dancing Drums, and I'm talking about the original Dancing Drums and the original Quick Hits, the original Quick Hits. Those two and Zeus, if you could find those on the casino floor, put your butt in a seat. Good line hits, a good play overall. Of course, nothing's guaranteed, but these games do well, and that's why they're difficult to find on the floor anymore. Because, they're going to want those high volatility machines on the floor. Okay, Heidi, man, who doesn't like a little bit of Heidi? Heidi's Beer House. Y'all know Heidi. Y'all have seen her. She's the one with the knockers and, she's pouring out the beers. Yeah. And they got that German music going. That's a fun game. The original will pay you. Couple of games I'm going to throw out there that I think are great. Tiki Fire. It's a high volatility game, but pays out really well. It does, and I've had success with it, but it is very high volatility, but it's a lot of fun, and it does give you bonuses kind of frequent. Some of them just kind of suck, but it does give them to you. The original Huff and Puff, great game. Original Hot Pots. Who doesn't love the original Hot Pots? It's no line hits. I'm telling you right now, your line hits are going to be there. It does not give you line hits, but the bonuses are frequent and the bonuses are long. 6, 8, 20 minutes. I've seen bonuses this long for. Moon Race is another one. Not a lot of line hits, but you'll get some bonuses in there, and some of those bonuses can be big. Now, when it gets down to some of my favorites, I'm going to tell you right now, okay, these games I got 2 more to tell you about. These last 2 are definitely hands down my favorites, and they're in the Ultimate Firelink line. Now, some of you are like, oh, I hate Ultimate Firelink. These 2 pay out very well, okay? And they have traditionally, they're very consistent games. You could, depending on how you think about them and how you think of the gambling, some people call them an ATM machine. Nah, I don't know. That's to be debated. But if you could find the original Ultimate Firelink and you get the China Street game or the Alvera Street game with the 50-cent button down on the panel. If it's got a 50-cent button, I'm going to tell you right now, stay off that button. A 1 cent, 50 cent is not worth, one cent, 50 cent, 1 cent, $1, 1 cent, 150. Doesn't make sense to play them because you can go over to 5-cent denomination and you could play $1 on a 5-cent denomination and watch what it does to your mini and your minor. I mean, if you're going to play, right? If you're going to spin the button, why not go for the biggest mini and minor and max that you can get? Everybody look for the big major, but the mini and the minor come up far more than a major. So if you're going to go for it, it's only 25 cents more. Hold on. I got to fix myself here. I'm driving. I got to move around and stuff. I stay still. People say, what's going on over there? I got a guy in a car talking to himself. What the hell's going on over there? Everybody wants to know. Okay, so yeah, but I would say, get this list down, replay it. I'll put it down in the comments of what's what. Well, that's what I got for you today. And thanks for your time. Like and subscribe, please. And I will catch you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.